What's good YouTube, Quasar here. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys my Super Quantum deck profile. Now the deck version that I play is Magnus Turbo, so essentially you're just trying to drop great Magnus first turn and sit on him for game. So jumping right into the deck, I play 3 copies of Red Layer. Before I start, I just want to let everyone know that the Quantums all have an effect when they're summoned and when they're sent to grave. So it revolves around swarming in order to drop your other Super Quant Xyz monsters, and then using the field spell in order to gain access into Magnus. So Red Layer, pretty straightforward. It's a level 5, so if you have no other monsters on field, you get to special summon it, which is really good. When it's summoned, you get to add a Super Quant card from your graveyard back to your hand. Or when it's sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon another Super Quant monster. That also includes the Xyz monsters. Play 3 copies of Green Layer. When Green Layer is summoned, you get to special summon another Super Quant from your hand. Or if this card's sent to graveyard, you get to discard another Super Quant card and then draw a card. So it allows you to get rid of cards that you don't need and then hopefully draw into something you do. All of these effects don't have to be activated, it's just there if you choose to use them. 3 copies of Blue Layer. Blue Layer is probably the best. It's level 3 Psychic, so E-Telly target. When it's summoned, you get to add a Super Quant card from deck to hand, except for a copy of itself, of course. So allows you to maintain hand advantage and just lets you get into your combo pieces really quickly. 3 copies of Fairy Alphan. When it has 2 effects as well. Alphan, you can target one other monster on the field that you control, and then all monsters you control become that targeted monster's level. So it allows for some easier Xyz summons. So playing that at 3 as well. Also, the effect that's more commonly used is you can tribute it, reveal 3 Super Quantum monsters from your deck with different names. So red, green, and blue. Your opponent randomly selects one, the selected monster gets special summoned, and then the other ones get sent to graveyard. So you're ending up getting all the effects, the summoned, and then of course the 2 that were sent to grave. So that's all the Super Quantum monsters, just 3 copies of each. And to finish off the monsters, I just simply play 2 copies of Summoner Monk, just because opening this guy's really good. You get to summon it, discard a card, and then you'd want to summon out your Green Layer. Green will then allow you to special summon another one from hand, allowing for easy swarming. So that's it, 14 monsters. Next, I play 3 copies of Magna Carrier. 3 is necessary because Magna Carrier allows you access into your Great Magnus. So basically, you can discard a card and then target one of your monsters, and then just overlay that monster. It's the only material you need. Use an Xyz monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as that monster. So red would be your Magna Liger, green would be your Ouroboros, and blue would be your Grand Pulse. Also, I play 3 copies of Chicken Game. This just allows you to draw, thin out the deck, get you to your combo pieces quicker. 3 copies of E-Telly because you are playing the Blue Layer. It allows you to just get your Blue Layer out quickly and then add cards to hand. So 3 is absolutely necessary. Another card you want to be playing at 3 is Reasoning, because you're playing levels 5, 4, 3, and 1, so your opponent will most likely not call the correct number. It'll allow you to get a monster out on board and get that effect. But if they do call the correct number, it's okay because you can still get an engrave effect. I also play 3 copies of Upstart Goblin because who doesn't love 37 card decks? The 2 ofs, 2 copies of Terraforming. Terraforming just gets you to your chicken game where you Magna Carrier quicker. 2 copies of Twin Twister to pop back row basically. Also, when you discard a monster with Twin Twister, you get the engrave effect. For 1 ofs, Soul Charge. Basically, you bring this back, or bring back your monsters, and you can pretty easily drop your Magnus. So definitely need to play Soul Charge. Feast of the Wild level 5, also really good because it is a little bit more difficult to drop Red Layer over all the other ones. So this card allows for basically a 1-card rank 5 Xyz monster. 1-for-1 just to get out your Fairy Alphan quickly. Now I'm playing Foolish Burial because you can drop your Red Layer, and then Red Layer's engrave effect allows you to special summon another Super Quant monster, so it's just basically easy to go into your other Super Quant monsters. And the last spell I play is 1 copy of Regeki because you just gotta nuke boards. And then lastly, for the main deck, I play 2 copies of the Magnus Slayer. Now, Magnus Slayer is an equipped trap, which allows the equipped Xyz monster to gain attack equal to its rank times 100. And yeah, you can only equip it onto your Super Quant Xyz monsters. You're usually just going to want to equip it onto Magnus to give him a nice 1200 attack point boost. And also, you can send the equip card to the graveyard. That monster can attack 3 times. So that's really amazing there as well. Allows for easy OTKs. So that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, I play 1 copy of Magnus. He's your boss monster. You only need 1. He has multiple effects if you have 2 or more Xyz materials on him. Once per turn during either player's turn, you get to shuffle 1 card on the field back into the deck. That effect also does not target, so remember that. So that's really good. 4 or more, it's unaffected by all other card effects except for Super Quant cards. So you can still use your Magnus Slayer to bump it up and get those kind of effects. Also, the 6 or more, your opponent cannot add cards from their deck to their hand. So really amazing. 3600 attack beater, boss monster. Basically, you're just trying to drop him as soon as possible with as many Xyz materials as possible. Next, I play 2 copies of the Magna Liger. Really good. If you have Red Layer, you get to use the effect either turn, detach 1, and pop a monster. 2 copies of Ouroboros. If it has Green Layer, you can use that effect either turn. You can detach and then target a monster on board and then flip it face down. So it's like a Book of Moon essentially. And 2 copies of Grand Pulse. And same as before, if it has Blue Layer, you get to detach during either player's turn in order to pop a spell or trap card. So really good. These guys also allow you access into your Great Magnus. I play 1 copy of Durendal. Durendal's really broken if you can also drop Magnus as well. So if you have Durendal and Magnus on board during your first turn, your opponent draws, you can activate Durendal's effect to shuffle their hand back into the deck. And even though the effect would allow them to draw that same number of cards, because you have Magnus with 6 or more, they cannot add cards from deck to their hand, so they are starting the duel with an empty hand and probably just scooping after that because they can't do anything. 1 Volcasaurus, just another monster that can pop other monsters and inflict burn damage. Freezadon, you can drop him along with Magnus, so you can use Freezadon's Xyz materials instead of Magnus's, so Magnus continues to have as many Xyz materials as possible for protection. The rank 4s I play 101 just to absorb monsters. Castell returns cards back to deck. And 1 copy of Gagaga Cowboy just for burn, just for some fun. And then rank 3s I play 1 copy of Alucard. You can pop spell and traps that are face down, or even monsters that are face down. So if your opponent's just dropping monsters in face down defense, you can still use Alucard to pop those face down defense position monsters. And then my last one is Leviair, just in case something goes wrong and something gets banished and you're going to need to bring it back. You can still use Leviair, special summon your monster, and then continue on your plays because, of course, special summon effect would go off. So that's it for my Super Quantum deck. I hope you guys liked it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.